Okay, so this is going to be a movie review for Rocky. Sylvester Stallone and John G. Avildsen's, I'd say masterpiece, pretty much. So I'll just go right into spoilers because this movie's 1976. So um, I absolutely love this movie. I've always loved this movie. Even though I remember seeing it as a kid. Um, the movie has so much heart. It has so much. It's such a. I always felt like it's a very powerful movie. Um, like a movie that they just don't make today. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it has some great action too. I know some people criticize the boxing and it's not accurate or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I think it works in the moment, which is really all you can ask of a movie. In my opinion. Um, So I mean, I know if you're a boxing expert, you can criticize this or that, but the build up to the actual fight is just incredible. I mean, you got Sylvester Stallone, probably his best performance ever. Then probably First Blood, but yeah, but probably this, and then Talia Shire, and Burt Young. Carl Weathers is a great villain. He's not even a villain. He's a great antagonist. Um, and of course Burgess Meredith. R.I.P. Um, it's just perfectly cast. It's too bad. Yeah, Burgess Meredith, 1997, melanoma and Alzheimer's. But it's just such a powerful movie that um I think has so much to say about the time period, which I wasn't around for, but you just feel the 70s, I think, in this movie, and it's so well directed too. And of course, the script written by Sylvester Stallone is just it's just incredible. Um, let's see, what did it mean? Okay, so it won the Academy Awards, won Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role nominated, Best Actress nominated, Burgess Meredith nominated, and Burt Young was nominated too. It's kind of surprising the script wasn't nominated at least. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that. I mean, I don't know. I got to look at what was going on that year, but I'd say it should have won script that year. So one Best Picture, but it wasn't the director wasn't even nominated. I don't know. I got to look at the year, but that doesn't really seem right to me. But whatever. Um, but yeah, it's such a good movie. Like apparently Stallone, when they bought this script, he was almost homeless. He had like no money. He had basically nothing. Um, he I think he saw a boxing fight with Muhammad Ali, and I forget the guy that basically went toe to toe with him and took him on. I mean, the guy lost, but um, that's what this movie's about. He stands his ground. He takes on Apollo. Apollo does win in the end, but he almost wins. And then obviously in Rocky 2, they have a rematch and Stallone wins. And I like all the Rocky movies. I mean, except for 5, but I don't know. Even 5 has some parts that I like, but 5 was just a misfire. But so many good scenes, and it's a love story too between him and Adrian. It's a really nice, I think, touching love story, and I don't know, just a really interesting movie because I mean, like movies today, there are romance movies, but I don't know, this is like a romance movie I think appeals to everyone. I think everyone can get on board with this movie, and I just don't think they do that anymore much. Like, you know, I mean, it's a great story of a guy who's kind of down on his luck, who, um, is kind of like a mob enforcer, and he doesn't really like doing it. He's kind of, like Mick says, he's not like reaching his full potential, and it's kind of about his journey, and I think it's just, I mean, every scene is just like so powerful. Like I just can't think of any scene that's bad or I'd cut. Um, you got Sylvester Stallone, and in the beginning, he's doing the mob enforcer thing. He's working at he is he works out at the gym. He meets Talia Shire, or I think he already knew her, and he starts to ask her out, and then they finally get to go out, and then there's that scene in the ice rink, which is so great, and it's just them two, and I think they only have one pair of skates, so then she puts it on, and he's just walking on the ice, and then they you got Apollo Creed, and he's looking for someone to fight, someone with a good story, and then he's like going through I guess these boxing logs, and he sees Sylvester Stallone, and he's not like a terrible fighter, but he's not amazing. Um, and then he Apollo's a great marketer, and he's like the Italian stallion, and it's on. I think the fight takes place on July 4th, so it's like this very American movie. It's a very American story of rags to riches, and Apollo's such a good antagonist in the movie because he's not some mustache twirling villain. He doesn't want to kill Stallone. There's not like a scene where he wants to kill him or anything. He wants to beat him, obviously, and he thinks he will beat him. Um, but yeah, he doesn't like insult him. He doesn't, um, he doesn't do all these evil things and insult Mick or anything like that. He treats him with respect. And obviously he thinks he's gonna win, but and there's a problem with, I mean, Creed. I mean, I saw the first Creed. I thought it was okay, but it's like they have Apollo, and he's not in the movie. I mean, he's dead, I think, and he cheated on his wife, and then the star is the illegitimate son of Apollo, and it's just like I don't know. Like I know, like Rambo Ralph for Life's talked about this and others, and it's like it kind of is a little shady. It's like I'm not sure Apollo would cheat on his wife. It's like yeah, he's a flashy guy, he's very charismatic, but I mean they show him with his wife, and they show him with his wife in the sequels, and you never get that feeling at all. He's a man of his word. I don't think he would do that. So it's kind of a gripe on those movies, honestly. Not to say I hated the first one. I haven't even seen the second or the third one, but maybe I'll go back and watch them. But So he's just such a great antagonist, and just great actors. I mean, Joe Spinell's in it, and he's in Godfather 2, Taxi Driver, Maniac. He's even in Sorcerer. I just was watching Sorcerer and I was like, oh man, it's Joe Spinell. Um, Burgess Meredith is such a great character. Mick. I mean, he's such a good father figure, kind of to Stallone, and that scene where he's asking if he can um, train him. Such an amazing scene, and Rocky's pissed at him because earlier he gave away his locker, he kicked him out of the gym, but it's because he thought he could do better. He was disappointed in him for being a mob enforcer, and so he kind of says no, but he says no when he's at his house, and then later he says yes, but when he's talking about his house, and he's like, yeah, it does stink. It stinks. Um, but yeah, Burgess Meredith is just amazing. I mean, all the acting nominations make perfect sense. So, but I do think he should have got the best writing and director at least nominated. And Stallone didn't produce it, so he didn't get Academy Award for the best picture. But they actually brought him on the stage, I think. So, kind of saying like he deserved it, but he was nominated for Creed, I think, because they're probably like, oh, we kind of messed up there, and I think he did. I mean, he was yeah, he was nominated for acting, best actor in a leading role, Stallone. Oh, what am I thinking? Never mind. Okay, the director was nominated. Okay, best writing nominated, best sound. So it won best sound, it won best film editing, and it won best musical score. Okay, never mind. I was wrong about that. Yeah, I was like, I thought I would have got more, but man, that's another thing. The music, Bill Conti. It's such a it gets you pumped up. It's so good. Definitely something movies are missing today is like a theme that you can kind of hum to and is so recognizable. Like Rocky or Star Wars or Indiana Jones or um, Jaws even. You know, Definitely I think that's missing today. Sometimes they do it, but it's a great editing. It's so tight. There's not much. There's almost nothing that you would lose in the movie. Um, so we got one, two, three, one, two. Wait, one. Yeah, so it won best film editing, it won best director, and it won best picture. So we got three. But still, I think Stallone should have at least got the writing or the acting award. But yeah, and then they're building up to the fight and his training and him fighting in the meat plants or whatever with the frozen beef and him breaking the ribs of it. Burt Young's amazing in it, even though he's like not a good guy really. He kind of becomes a better guy later, but he's pretty mean to his sister. Um, but there's some comic relief with Burt Young. He's so great. But yeah, and then the training, and this is one of the first movies to use Steadicam. Um, I mean, they've used it before, but it's one of the first. So and then you get the build up into the fight, and Stallone, and then the night before he goes and visits the rink, and he sees the giant drawings of them, and they got his pants wrong. I think it's like the wrong color. And he says to the guy, the promoter, like, "Yeah, you got the color of my pants wrong." And I think the guy's like, it doesn't really matter, does it, kid?" And he's like, because he's like, "You're gonna lose," or you know, no one expects him to do as good as he did. But yeah, it was a huge hit, and I've read that the studio loved the script, but they didn't want Stallone for the role because he was like, he wasn't a big actor at all, and but he wouldn't sell him the script without them agreeing for him to be the star of the movie. Very smart, because yeah, I mean, heck, you may have not heard from Stallone again. Um, maybe he would have wrote another script that was good, but he's like, no, I want to be the star, and it's my script. So that was smart. But yeah, there's some trivia. The ice rink scene was originally written to feature 300 extras, but the production couldn't afford so many people. When Stallone turned up to shoot the scene, to his horror, there was only one extra. Wow. So Stallone hastily threw together a scene as it exists in the completed film. The scene has become one of the most popular in the entire saga. Yeah, because it's like it's about to close, but then he pays the guy off, and he's like, "Hey, just give us like 20 minutes or something." It was the highest-grossing movie of 1976. That's another thing. I don't think people can like you just realize how popular this movie was back then. It was like a phenomenon. I mean, in Philadelphia, there's a giant statue of Rocky. It's like based on a movie character, and sure, he's kind of based on a few real life boxers, but still, he's a movie character. Carl Weathers and Stallone suffered injuries during shooting the final fight. Stallone suffered bruised ribs, and Weathers suffered a damaged nose, the opposite injuries of what their characters had. According to Burt Young, during filming of the scene where Polly walks home drunk, an actual drunk wandered onto the location and told Young he was acting drunk convincingly, so Young asked the man to demonstrate it. Young, Burt Young then copied the man for the scene. Prior to his breakthrough role in the film, Stallone was earning $36 a week as an usher. Stallone quit smoking cigarettes while making the movie because he was getting out of breath. Burgess Meredith got the part of Mickey because other actors they considered for the role were insulted that Stallone wanted them to read for it. The single most expensive cost of the film was makeup. The first sports film to win an Academy Award for Best Picture. Oh, that's interesting. Rocky is not the character's actual name. His real name is Robert Balboa. This was seen in a rough script from the second film. He took the nickname from real life boxer Rocky Marciano. Yeah, that's what I always heard. It's basically based off of. And also, I think that other guy too that fought Ali. Stallone had originally wanted Harvey Keitel for the role of Paulie. I could probably see that. He could play a drunk. But I'm definitely glad that they went with Burt Young. Because, I mean, he's perfect. Harvey Keitel has plenty of awesome roles. It's like according to Stallone, it was a stroke of good luck that stroke of good luck that the film got made. He met with the producers to audition for another film, but was turned down for the part. In the course of conversation, Stallone mentioned that he was not only an actor but also a writer. As he started to leave the room, the producers asked him if he was working on any scripts. That's when Stallone pitched him the story for Rocky, and the producers asked to read the script. Wow. Stallone was so poor prior to filming Rocky, he had to sell his dog for $50. A week later, he sold the script for Rocky and bought him back. Rocky's dog, Butkus, was the same dog. Yeah, the dog in the movies is real dog. And those turtles in the movie, Cuff and Link, are his real turtles. And I think they're still alive, actually. And he still has them. But yeah, this film was shot in 28 days. Wow, it's incredible. Like some movies now take 3, 4 months to shoot. It's like, or more. I mean, that's another thing. You can just feel the guerrilla filmmaking, the low budget, but I think it works. It makes the movie better because it feels real. Like it's just the movie's so raw. I've always felt that. It's so raw and powerful. Talia Shire was eager to break out of the shadow of her big brother Francis Ford Coppola and jumped at the chance to play Adrian, even for the meager. She was $7,500. She was offered. She admired Sylvester Stallone and the story he created. He calls himself an intellectual caveman. That's great. And I think he sort of fancies himself as Stanley Kowalski. But oh boy, is he creative, a sympathetic person. And yeah, see, he's a great character. He's very sympathetic. You like him. Another thing lacking, I think, in today's movies, like sometimes in like movies that are well reviewed, it's like, why do I like this person? Like, well, I've talked about this before, but like the Star Wars, like the new trilogy, it's just like, why do I like Ray? Why do I like this person? Why do I like, you know, why almost anyone in those movies? Just like, why do I'm supposed to like them? Like, why do I like Luke Skywalker in those movies? I know the movies that he did before I liked him in, but what about these movies? Give me a good reason. It's like in this movie, you have a good reason. Like, he's a nice guy. He's a romantic. He's in love with Talia Shire. Um, he's a decent boxer. He's, he's a mob enforcer, yeah, but he doesn't really like doing it. And this will get him away from that. So, great script writing by Stallone. Like, Stallone knows like how to make a good likable character, like in First Blood, and a lot of the sequels too. It's like it's simple, but you know why you like the guy, you know why you like the character, and you're rooting for him. And even though he loses in the end, he barely loses, and it sets up for a great sequel. So, and where he wins. Almost completed in 28 days. Wow. Oh, one of the posters for the film featured a shot of Rocky and Adrian holding hands. Although this was one of the most popular images associated with the film, the scene this image was taken from was cut out of the movie. That is true. That's not in the movie. But yeah, Talia Shire, she's in the Godfather movies. A great actress. Her brother is Francis Ford Coppola. When first offered the directing job, John G. Alverson turned it down because he wasn't interested in boxing. But upon reading the script, he was sold when on page 3, Rocky was having a conversation with his turtles, Cuff and Link. He admitted that he was charmed by it and thought it was an excellent character study and a beautiful love story. Ranked number 4 of the American Film Institute's 100 most inspiring movies of all time, 2006. The turtles in the film are still alive as of June 2020. According to Stallone, the role of Polly was originally going to be Adrian's Jewish mother, huh, but was later changed to being her Italian brother. Oh, wow. That's interesting. One of the reasons for Talia Shire's shy and reserved performance in the first film is due to the fact that she was suffering from the flu at the time of filming. I think it absolutely works. And then you see in the other movies, she, like, kind of comes out of her shell more. And, I mean, the end of the movie, with her there, and, Apollo wins barely. Split decision, but he barely won. And, Stallone, calling out for Adrian. I mean, it's just so emotional. It's such a powerful scene. Scenes you just don't get that much anymore, unfortunately. And it's shot on film, and yeah, it's something about that too. I think like the film stock at the time, it just feels so real. The film had such a low budget that, according to Carl Weathers, he and Burgess Meredith shared a cramped dressing room. But yeah, the movie made 117 million worldwide, and I'm sure way more now. With re-releases and DVD, Blu-ray, VHS sales. Oh, the role of Mickey was initially offered to Lee Strasberg, who was Burt Young's mentor, but the production couldn't afford him. Well, I'm glad they went with um, Burgess Meredith. John G. Alvidson was so excited about the film, he reduced his usual salary to about $30,000 in a percentage of the profits. That was smart. Huh. Wow, he probably got super rich from that. Good director. He went on to direct The Karate Kid, I think 1 through 3, at least 1 and 2. But first Karate Kid's pretty good. It has some similarity to Rocky, definitely. Yeah, this is the third major film to use Steadicam after Bound for Glory and Marathon Man. During the opening credits, as Rocky is walking towards the pet shop, you can hear him whistling the theme song. Well, that's interesting. So that's usually they do the theme song, the music after, but uh, I don't know. Maybe he already had it. He read the script and wrote some of it. Cher was considered for the role of Adrian. I guess I can maybe see that. I'm glad that didn't happen though. Ugh. No offense to Cher, but Burt Young, who plays Paulie, was at one time a boxer himself. He won 32 of 34 bouts while in the Marine Corps, and then went 17-0 as a pro, albeit under three different names. Hmm. His manager was the legendary Cus D'Amato, who managed Floyd Patterson and Mike Tyson, among others. Burt Young's only Oscar-nominated performance, but um, I guess it's about it. I just I just really love this movie. Um, I just kind of thought randomly I'd do a review for it. It's one of my favorites of all times. I think it's basically a perfect movie. I mean, you could nitpick about this or that, but in the end, it works on an emotional level. And to me, that's all you can really ask for a movie is to care about the characters, for it to work on an emotional level. And if it works for you emotionally, then what else can you ask for, really? But the Philadelphia Art Museum steps are now known as the Rocky Steps. Yeah, that's a great scene when he's running up the steps and the music's pumping and playing. It's just so good. 70s had a lot of great movies, but yeah, and then you got the sequels, and maybe I'll do reviews of those. I mean, I like them too, but this is, I think, definitely the best. I mean, so, but yeah, it pretty much started, Stallone's massive career, and I'm glad that it did because I'm a big Stallone fan. So, um, but yeah, I guess that's about it. Um, Obviously, if you haven't seen the movie, like, well, what are you doing? You should. But that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.